Hello folks, welcome to today's video. We'll be dogfighting an F-86 and this time we're going to turn off the not just the roll stability augmentation but also the yaw. Be sure when you flick these switches off that you do not unintentionally turn off your pitch stability augmentation, because you will still need that just to keep the Phantom in line. I'm going to turn in here and line up on that F-86 as we get ready to kick off the fight. And there he goes. So up we go. Get on the power, kick the tires, light the fires, go straight upstairs. Pointing at the sun so that the F-86 pilot has as tough a time as possible keeping our F-4 in sight. Got that F-86 way down there. We're going to let the F-4 basically top off here, feeling the buffet. Dip the left wing down in the nose, just let her drift on down, come off the power, roll the jet. Key here that you have your rudder dialed in, because that's going to be your control surface when you're maneuvering the jet at high angles of attack and low speed like that. I use a rudder, I almost had filter there. I use a rudder curve of actually 45, which helps me control the F-4 very nicely when we get in these low speed transitions. So the F-86 passed by over there. I'm going to put the nose down, see if we can maybe capitalize on that angle. My thought here is, if he's not paying attention and he lost sight of me, I can maybe go nose low, put on some power, and sneak up on him. And I lose sight of the little guy, which is kind of to be expected when you're dealing with a tiny little jet like that. So see if I can look and reacquire him maybe on my way back up. So in terms of aerial kind of aerobatics, this is not going to be a very satisfying video, but hopefully I get the point across here, which is that in the F-4, straight lines up and down, simple as that. If you lose sight of the bandit, or you're repositioning, or you don't really know what the SA of the overall fight is, when in doubt, point at the sun and go up. Pointing at the sun's going to do a couple of things for you. The first is it will obviously deflect basically everything but the most advanced air-to-air infrared missiles that are available in the game. When you're flying this in a Cold War type scenario, it pretty much will decoy any realistically available air-to-air missile you might face. Two, it also makes you difficult to see. So for radar missiles, hopefully you've got your ECM pod equipped, and you should certainly use it. Bear in mind that your ALQ-131 ECM pod has about a 30-minute service time to it, because that's how long the coolant works here. So as we get down to the deck, I am transitioning low just to see if I can pick them up here. The key to this exercise is making sure that your speed stays pretty fast. I'm basically just under Mach. My preference would be to be at Mach, but conserving fuel. Picking up the F-86 now in the back quarter. For those of you who've seen my last video know what to do here, so that's what we're going to do. We're not going to try to turn and meet him nose on like the BFM textbook would suggest. If we try that in the F-4, he's just going to get on our 6 and shoot us down. So that's no fun. I don't want Jester catching any lead, critical as he is of my landings regularly, so we're just going to go up, 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 and away. And the reason for doing that will be pretty obvious here. The idea is to run that F-86 out of energy. Once he does, we're going to be above him, so then we just point the nose down, put the throttles to the mill detent, and the F-4 can do what she does best, which is fly fast. Again, it is useful to have your rudder axis sorted out. If you've got a mouse and keyboard or some setup like that, I would kind of tinker with it, see what works for your setup, but The goal here is to ensure that you can control the F-4 with your rudder relatively easily. I have a set of dedicated rudder pedals for this, so feel free to weigh in the comments if some of you with mouse and keyboard and other setups kind of tell the group how you guys do it, because I don't have insight into how those different setups work, and having the rudder dialed in is pretty critical if you want to get the most out of the F-4 or the upcoming F-100, which I am quite excited about. What do you all say about the new Hun coming in? Figure if you're watching this or listening to this about the F-4, the F-100 will be right up your alley too. So coming down here, getting some speed. Again, not going to embarrass the Blue Angels with our little aerobatics setup, but this is how we do it. If we see the bandit up behind us, or we think the bandit's behind us, we go one direction. And it is not to the left, it's not to the right, it is up.
He almost has us.
So now we see the F-86 trying to meet us, but he's running out of steam. Doesn't have enough coal in that engine, so bear in mind also, as you all are noticing, Jester has a habit of getting panicky if a bandit is at our 6 o'clock or close to it. So just bear in mind that he's probably going to call out that there's a bandit about to shoot us or something to that effect when you're doing this. Try not to react to his bandit calls if you have enough SA to realize where the bandit is and if it's part of your plan. Obviously, if you don't know there's someone back there, it's probably a good idea to start jinking. But if you're planning, you know, you're climbing up and there's a bandit that's falling in behind you, that's completely expected, and Jester unfortunately won't know that, so he's just going to call out that there's a bandit at your 6 to do some pilot shit and various other panicky claims of that sort. Don't internalize it, just follow your plan, climb up, roll down, and then take advantage of the opportunity. If things pan out on your vertical pass and you come down, the F-86 is out of vertical speed, so he stalls out, and when he stalls out, you come down with energy and you reset the fight in your favor. Bear in mind that, unfortunately, and this is going to be true of pretty much every airplane in the game when you go against, when you're up against an EF-4, pretty much everybody you fight's going to have either a turn advantage, a climb advantage, or both when you have a realistic payload. A lot of those energy maneuverability charts have an F-4 with half fuel in 2 sidewinders, which realistically will pretty much never be what you're set up when you're playing this game. You're going to have some rails, you're going to have some payloads, some missiles, you're going to have an ECM pod. All those things are going to weigh you down and decrease your turn rate and your performance relative to what that chart would say. So while an EM chart may say 12 degrees per second at 460 knots, 25,000 feet, you're not going to be able to hold that if your F-4 is in any kind of realistic missionized state. Even if you're just carrying air-to-air missiles, you're going to weigh more than that template will in the energy maneuverability chart. So, safest thing to do, assume your bandit can out-climb and out-turn you. So don't try to get horizontal maneuvering. If you do kind of lag pursuits like energy fighter BFM, that's going to buy you a little bit of time. But if you're up against something like an F-86 or an airplane with similar turn rate and capability, that's not gonna, energy BFM's not gonna win you the whole day. So I'm coming in, diving on the F-86, switch the missiles, too close for missiles, you know the rest. Oof, bad day for him. So at this juncture, again, I'm thinking maybe I can bid lag and try to work my way into a control zone, but if the bandit is aware of what they're doing, they're going to deny you the opportunity to do that. As you can see, he just U-turned and came right back down. So I look at my fuel, figure out that another couple of vertical passes is probably going to take me below my bingo setting, so I just go nose low and duck out of the fight, put some rounds in his airplane. I'll call that a win for this point. So I'm exiting the fight. This moment's never satisfying, but sometimes it's how you got to do it. You have to call You know, call to fight, get out, save your gas, live to fight another day. Haha, look at that. Down he goes. Looks like he ejected. Scratch one F-86, folks. He didn't immediately explode when I shot him, but a kill's a kill. So as we fly off to base, again, hopefully this gets the point across with the F4. You want to do your turns in the vertical. Keep fast. If you have any doubts or you lose tally of the bandit, point your airplane at the sun and go up. Swing back down, use that rudder, and you know, use the F4's traits to its advantage. Goes to show you that to win dogfights, you don't follow EM charts to the letter, you don't follow dogmas, you just play to your strengths, and you work with that against the other guy's weakness. Fight your fight, don't fight the other guys, and you'll come out on top. Thanks for tuning in. Consider subscribing for our next video, and we'll catch you in the next one.